Know the rules. We are going to talk today about the Disney earnings call, which was actually pretty good. They talked a little bit about Hulu and ESPN, and it just seemed like the investors, and only, by the way, were the big investors allowed to call in. No more mom and pop investors. It was mostly, let's see, I remember Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, at least those two, and there was another one. It wasn't J.P. Morgan. It was I can't remember, but there was at least one other really big uh, uh, investment bank, which is rather interesting. So it looks to me that the investors and the shareholders, the people, the important people, hey, oh, we did, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was whatever. We just went to the diner. The diner always does better breakfast. I don't know why, they just do. But I had breakfast this morning, and it's best not to eat two breakfasts in a day. Does that make any sense? But anyway, so I just had half a veggie quesadilla thing, and I brought the rest home. I probably won't finish them. Guys, bag lettuce is gross, because if you don't eat it right away, it just throw it away. After the first day, just dump it because it's gross. Okay, and that's what they use. And I was like, ew. Anyway, slimy. But anyway, so a lot of the no more mom and pop invest in calling in. So there's that. They talked a lot about streaming numbers. Their streaming numbers did go up. It appears that the Gina boycott isn't working. Okay. No, a lot of you guys quit Disney Plus when she was let go, not fired. But, you know, I don't, look, boycotts don't work. To get Chapek's attention, don't buy the merchandise. And that's getting his attention. Okay, if they make things that we don't want to see or make stupid decisions, don't buy the merch. Okay, that's where Chapek sees it, because that's where Disney makes its money. Don't forget that. Okay. So, and he talked a lot about the parks, which I'm not. Yep, exactly. I'm not really familiar with the parks. I know that they seem to go on the cheap, but for the people bitching, Disney's in a financial cul-de-sac, so you might want to give them a break. Okay, they need to, I think, not only restructure but redefine again what being Disney is, and it is a family-friendly place. That doesn't mean that they can't have things for adults, which is why I think Galaxy's Edge should be aimed more at adults and not at kids. Because, I mean, look, I just talked to a friend. He said he went there. The kids are asking, where's Luke Skywalker? Where's the Mandalorian? All right, where's Han Solo? You know, they don't care about the sequel trilogy at all. A lot of people think they do, they don't. I mean, they don't buy the shit. Kids aren't asking for that. And you can see it in the merchandise sales. But anyway, just a minute, I gotta put the dog away. Come here. Come. Come on, buddy. House. House. Go on. Good boy. Okay, so that's what's kind of going on. Honey, I'll be on here for like 25 more minutes, okay? So anyway, the merch, a great big huge box full of Italian roast K-cups just showed up on my counter. Yummy. I'm not gonna drink one right now because I don't drink coffee after I have 2 cups in the morning and that's it. But anyway, so the kids are asking where the original trilogy characters are and where's Mando, where's Baby Yoda, where's Cara Dune, and that's a big thing. Okay, that's a big thing. And Chapek would notice that because it's interesting to note. As Valiant Renegade, and if you haven't subbed his channel, please do it, said Bob Chapek has done merchandise, the parks, and studio stuff. So he's done the gamut of the company. And he came from the parks, so he knows kind of what the customer is looking for. And what he's trying to do is make sure that Disney caters to that. Okay, because again, bottom line is making money. And if they're not doing that, the big shareholders, like the guys that called in, aren't going to be happy. And right now they're happy. They're starting to, the worm is starting to turn. Okay. Hola, Mr. Pauly, how you doing? So let's talk about Kevin Feige. I think in the beginning of the call, basically Bob Chapek said, you know, Bob Iger and I get along great. We're friends. Don't know if it's true or not, but as long as they have a working relationship, I'm good to go. And he said something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of an indirect, unsaid dig at what's going on with Scarlett Johansson. Cameron Pasha has a theory that it isn't Scarlett going to sue. It's Feige. Feige wanted her to do this. And I'm going to say this so Pauly hears it because I don't think he's heard it. My question for Scarlett is, why aren't you asking Kevin Feige why they all went all in for why aren't they all in for or why they went all in for Captain Marvel when her movie was already in the can and could have been put out. That movie, The Black Widow, should have been put out 2-3 years ago. It was done. I think it's been done for 5 years. Okay. I would like to know why. All right. Now, I said this in Valiant Renegades chat. Why? And I think I've talked to other people. I'm not gonna say who, because every time I bring it up, he goes shh. if he's watching, he's probably laughing. Would it shock anybody that the reason why Captain Marvel got put out there and then got included in the Avengers, even though they didn't really need her, was because Feige was stooping Brie Larson? Because then they have to hide and play, hide the Rock with Captain Marvel box office. That movie didn't make $1 billion. There isn't any stupidity on Chapek's side, Bobby. He is playing 4D chess with these idiots. He's not Hollywood. That's the difference. He's like the new guy coming in to Warner Brothers, the guy that runs Discovery. They make tons of money making people happy and entertaining them, not preaching the gospel of the woke folk. Okay. Is it Zeslov? Zeslov, that's what his name is. I think him and Chapek are going to be the new Troy, I mean, can you think of a better reason? Suddenly we hear about this character that nobody's heard about or cares about, played by an actress that soon, that soon made it impossible for, that's funny, Polly, an actress that soon made her mark with the fans by telling him she didn't need him and didn't want him. I mean, you know, so it wouldn't surprise me that something out there is being written up about that. It wouldn't surprise me because I can't think of any other reason. I really, really can't. There's no logical reason for that franchise at the point it was at to have her show up, etc., etc. Well, yeah, Bree's got problems beyond her creepy toes, but yeah. So I honestly believe that Feige is probably the bad guy here. Feige saw what happened with Kennedy, and Cameron is very sure that Kennedy is done. And him and Valiant are like, you know, you gotta understand. Cameron's on the inside. He sees what's going on. He understands the politics. Valiant sees the money. Mike the Mexican Iron Man does too. When I got to starting to look at that, the reason why I started looking at the shares back, God, over a year ago now, December of 2019, is because I was thinking there has to be a way for something to be done to fix this problem. Okay, Disney can't keep going down this road. Lucasfilm can't, and I'm right. And now it's coming to fruition. These two guys, Zeslov and Chapek, are the right guys to come in at the right time. Okay, so, are there any new lockdowns coming on? I don't know. There might be semi ones. It depends on the state. I'm pretty sure that this state, if the governor even tried, he'd be carried out of the the state house and dumped on his front lawn. We're done. It's they try to. And what I'm gonna let's put it this way: the issue isn't really killing anybody, if you know what I mean. It's not. If you've had the Fauci ouchie and you get it, you should be fine. Okay. I got it. Nothing fell off of me. I'm not, growing a third eye, or, an extra finger. My physical came back and, I'm feeling good and getting back into shape, so things like that will affect people in a different way. Okay. And if they try to lock it down again, there's going to be all hell break loose. Nobody will do it. Florida won't do it. Texas won't do it. South Dakota won't do it. If this state tries, we won't do it. Do not comply. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. And recall Gavin Newsom. So we've got Feige. We've got him maybe being behind this Brie Larson or this Scarlett Johansson issue, because he's scared to death, because he saw what happened to Kennedy. And he knows that Chapek wants more control over the not necessarily content distribution, but the reason why that's important is because distribution can tell content what they want. Because distribution can say that the fans don't like this, they like this. Hey, old redneck, the fans don't like Admiral Holdo. I mean, that woman over there got a 6-inch figure and put it in her fire pit and watched it melt. Sacrificing a virgin to the gods to end the pandemic. Didn't work, but tried. Something has to give. Okay, something has to be. I think that would be a good idea, and maybe he knows to do that. I don't know, but a like or dislike on each show, on each thing on streaming would help. I got done watching the end of the Bad Batch, and it was a little exciting. I was down here at 6:30 in the morning drinking coffee, screaming, "Run, run!" Uh, and it was very strange. You're watching things that aren't necessarily human, behave like human, and they're not replicants. Okay, they're not. But you know, but it's just kind of strange to be a clone. If I had a clone, I'd be like, I got some parts I need. I got some parts I need, dude. Well, so we'll go to the doctor and that's mean. Anyway, but it was exciting and it was surprising at the end. I don't know what in the hell Crosshair's gonna do. There's no water to drink. He has got no food and he's sitting on a platform and they left him. And somebody said, this leads directly to Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's where? How? He wasn't mentioned at all. This is, I mean, I was hoping we get to see Vader, but, I don't think they're ready to unveil him yet. You know, it it's very it was a very interesting ending, and they ordered another season. So obviously, Chapek and the boys were very happy with what the receiver viewership was. This is a good thing. First off, it's a Dave Filoni product. There was no Wokistanian bullshit in it at all. Okay. I don't like Harrison Dula. Again, Rebels. Here's the reason why Rebels I don't think was as good as Clone Wars. Carrie Hart, and it was made under Kathleen Kennedy, so they probably had to follow parameters, and make sure that the Queen didn't get pissed off at them. You know what I'm saying? If anything, Filoni's not only creative, he's a politician. Excuse me. So he kind of knows what buttons not to push. Anyway, I don't know. I do know that Sid has white Mandalorian armor that is just sitting there at her place on Ord Mantell. So that would be very interesting to find out who gets that. The weird thing is Omega is older than the Bad Batch. I did not know that. They obviously were on accelerated growth. And she, is obviously an exact replica, except for her sex, of Boba Fett. Okay. Yeah, I think they both age like normal human beings. So, and they're still gonna want her. I mean, the Kaminoans, what's left of them, are still gonna want her, and the Empire, when they figure out what's out there, they'll want her too. I think she still could be force sensitive because she figured out who Sid was right away. And that was very strange, but again, she's probably got Jango Fett's instincts too, so who knows? Oh yeah, he's what, 30, 35 years old? Yeah, he'd be younger, almost younger than Luke, and Luke wasn't, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but back to what's going on. I think Feige is going to, this is the thing. Valiant read an article about what will happen if Feige leaves. And here's how I think he's being set up. Bob Chapek is allowing Shang-Chi and the 10 Legends of the Ten Rings to be released to the general audience in theaters. It is going to crash and burn. No word on the Eternals, but word on the street is I think that it's also going to be released out there. And no one cares about any of these characters. Nothing. None. Both movies will bomb. considering the poor reception that WandaVision had, that Loki had, and the funny money going on behind Marvel, and now these two movies upcoming, I'm thinking that Chapek is setting him up to say, look, he's lost money, he's lost his mojo, I think we need to move on from this guy, so I'm not going to re-sign him to another contract. Or I'll sign him to a 1-year contract extension, and then it's over. And then he goes. At that point, I think, oh, I know. I mean, no one. I mean, I think deep in his heart, Feige knows that he's not doing well right now, and that what they've come up with is crap. And I think that's why he's doing this. Again, the question is, why did you go and fast track Captain Marvel instead of just releasing, Black Widow? I mean, Captain Marvel came out now, and Brie was just being a hellacious cunt. Oh, it would. I mean, Disney be like, make him go away now. I don't know who Victoria Alonso is. I don't know much about Marvel beyond what I've read, and what's been said. But I think a few more failures on Feige's part will give Iger the impetus, the power to shut him down. And I think he knows that, because he had the power right away to shut Kennedy down. And it took him a year to do it, but he did. Okay. And I honestly am going to say this. Iger, I think was right with him. Because if you notice something, was it 2019 when Feige was signed to his new contract, and Ike Perlmutter was gone? Feige basically has the equivalent of Dave Filoni's position at Marvel. Okay. They cut the guy out that Feige didn't like. Feige somehow was able to seduce Iger into thinking that Perlmutter was the bad guy. Perlmutter didn't want to spend money. He was very cautious and probably real smart. And Feige was basically been coasting on the success of Jon Favreau and Ike Perlmutter. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if you remember that video I made about the Reddit leaker. The second thing he put out there was a full-blown attack on Alan Horn. Everything bad that happened with the sequel trilogy was his fault. But the person who put that out there shoots herself or himself in the foot by basically giving Kennedy full responsibility for the sequel trilogy. She got everything she wanted. Everything she wanted. And it's trash. Okay. So if Alan Horn was against some of the things that they said he was against, he wanted good Star Wars. He wanted the cast to resemble and be like the cast that was in the OT. He wanted a connection to the OT that was strong. What they got was nothing like that. Okay, I can't imagine if it's true that he was happy with hiring Rian Johnson. And now I had heard opposite, that he loved TLJ, but I don't see it. Now again, the leaker could be lying. You know what I'm saying? But both leaks were intended to make Kathy and JJ look like heroes. And they're not the heroes that the leaker is trying to make them. They're the ones that did all this trash. They're the ones that really just crashed and burned. Okay. And Oh, excuse me. And I slept real well last night too. They're the ones that have had the. I mean, they're the ones that wanted Haldo and Leia Poppins and Daddy Butcher and no real story, poorly done fan service and nostalgia pieces. You know, we all saw it. We all know that. So we know who the bad guys are. Alan Horn is leaving, and that Reddit was intended to throw him under the bus. I don't think it works very well. I think the only reason why Kennedy isn't getting excoriated in the press and everywhere else is because she's Kathleen Kennedy. And you're still not allowed to criticize a woman in Hollywood, even if she's completely incompetent. So, what we have going on now, my husband, he got himself a rowing machine, and he's really going to town on it. I mean, kicking ass and taking names. I can hear him. So we got this going on. Okay. Do I think that Feige is going to walk into a trap? Yeah, he already has. First off, you don't piss off the boss, and they pissed off the boss. And despite Chapek is said to be a nice guy, approachable, down to earth, rational, not very intellectually curious dude. But he's also in charge. And oh yeah, no, he wanted it for I don't care what WDW Pro said. This was just in one of the legit news sources that said he's an approachable guy. You can be approachable and have a pretty good opinion of yourself. Okay? Gerard Butler's very approachable. He's also a dickhead. Okay? You gotta understand that. You're not dealing with a human being that hasn't read all of his press and believed that. Harrison Ford is very approachable. I wouldn't because I'd faint. But I know he's a really nice guy, and tends to be in situations very generous with himself. Like, as a couple years ago, a lady got into an accident on the 405. Hey, John 42, and this Mercedes pulls up, and this guy jumps out, and it's him, asking her if she was okay. Stayed there till and gave a statement to the police. Made sure she got medical attention. He does that. He's been known to. I think he rescued 2 different sets of hikers in Wyoming and Idaho with his helicopter. And I've told this story before, but this still makes me funny. So these girls are on Table Rock Mountain, and one of them is really dehydrated. I know, let's go to a very dry place that has a lot of altitude without any water on us and go hiking. Duh. How's about being prepared once? So they call for help, and helicopter goes, okay, I'll go and get him. Shows up, gets girls on the chopper. The girl that's sick promptly throws up all over the chopper. And then when they land, they realize who it was. I mean, the humiliation she must have had at realizing who that was and what she did. She wasn't at her most fabulous self, let's put it that way. Every time I hear that, I laugh. But, I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. But still, pilots have egos, and he definitely does. But I don't think it hurts him in most circumstances. It might have with Indy 5, but the guy's in better shape than the rest of us. Okay, so, I always say to people, instead of bitching at him over his age, who does he think he is doing that? Oh yeah, he is. I mean, I think Harrison thinks it's all stupid. I really, really do. You know, we should go. God, I wish I could be like that when I'm 79. Okay. I you know, his wife should say, "Gee, I wish I could get in that shape." I'm not kidding. Have you seen? Oh, Callista, you need to eat a cheeseburger. I'm not kidding. Anyway, what else is new? So I think Feige is being played. The reason why I want Chapek to win is because he knows where's where the bread and butter is. It's making the fans happy. And he knows what financial straits the company's in. I mean, it really is. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Disney is not going to file bankruptcy and they're not going to go away. But they're not in good shape right now. If their stock ever went below $100 again, you will see the vultures circling. Somebody will want to buy it. Somebody will do a hostile takeover. Okay, and it'll get ugly. Now the thing with Feige may get ugly. Okay, I don't know, but I expect to see something about Brie Larson come up because I think she's part of this, whether she thinks so or not. I honestly really I think that the reason why Disney's going so hard at Scarlett is because they've offered arbitration and her stupid ass lawyers and that idiot Brian Lord. Sorry, Carrie, but your ex is a vegetable. Okay, I'm sorry. Brian Lord is Billy Lord's dad, and we know where she came from. Okay, Carrie Fisher's daughter. I don't even see how that works. But that's a discussion for another time. The moment I saw his picture, I'm like, oh God, you could do so much better. You did do so much better. What the hell is wrong with you? But when you think about this guy, he really did. I mean, Brian Lord really has swam around with Hollywood royalty. He's the most powerful agent in Hollywood. And we wonder why there's a gay mafia. He's gay, by the way. I think that he's representing the Hollywood establishment. They're terrified of what's going on. They're terrified of Chapek. They better be terrified of Zaslav because he is going to go in there and you're going to see a lot of woke folk leaving. Like at DC, yeah, you're not though. I mean, he'll look at it and say you can't sell stuff. The guys seem to like Zack Snyder, who's a dickhead, by the way, and we're going that way. So if you don't like it, the door, or you work out your contract, or if you get another job in the meantime, fine, okay. But we're doing it this way, whether you like it or not. And that's what I think that this is why Chapek wants to do 1-year contracts. Now, I have a theory about Kennedy. I think she is out, but I also think they could be doing a 1-year contract with her. And then she will go away then. Okay, it'll be meaningless. She won't be able to do anything. It'll just give her accolades and awards as she leaves on her float, gets into the limo and puts on her Dior sunglasses and does her girl bye. Okay, that's what I think. I don't think that Chapek likes her. He doesn't have any real connections to her. And he has seen what she has done with Star Wars, and it's trash. He's looking at the merchandise sales. He's looking at what happened to Gina Carano. Ultimately, he let her do that. He let this happen. He could have come down before and said, you're going to leave Gina alone. Okay? And maybe he should have, but he didn't. And people scream at Disney like it was Disney's fault. No, it wasn't Disney's fault. They didn't know she was going to do it until she did it. We're not going to have Gina back. She did something anti-Semitic. No, she didn't. She posted a meme. You idiots took wrong. And, well, I'll tell you, see, man, we'll get into another discussion as soon as I'm over. So Kennedy stepped into it, pissed off Jon Favreau. Oh, will she? Yeah, she will. I mean, look, there are plenty of rich whack-outs in Hollywood that would give her money for her company. Bette Midler's all-girl productions crashed and burned almost before it began. Well, maybe John 42. Here's the deal. Hollywood needs more than just a change of storytelling. We need to get actors who are movie stars. Ben Affleck is not a movie star, he's a celebrity. Brad Pitt isn't a movie star, he's a celebrity. A movie star should be somebody who is not approachable. You know what I'm saying? Not approachable. That the fan, that should be out of reach from the fans, like they used to be. Like, I think he's done that on purpose. I think when she went behind their backs, the Bobs at the time, backs, and did that development deal with Leslie Forehead, I'm pretty sure, or as Tom likes to call her, Fred Flintstone. All right, every time Tom does that, I automatically start giggling. I think that pissed him off. I do. I think that pissed him off. And after, Spielberg walked away, and I talked about this yesterday, from Indy 5, that was an indication to me that not all is right with her relationship with the rest of the club. They won't say it. They won't talk about it. They won't say it in public. But for Steven Spielberg to walk away from that movie, even if he didn't want to make it, yeah, see, even if he didn't want to make it, the fact that it was an Indiana Jones movie, you had Harry in it, and maybe Karen Allen, and a few other mainstays. The fact that he walked away from it, they're saying it was the script. Partially, probably because John Kasdan, the idiot behind Soilo and Pando Lando, John Kasdan wrote a script for Indy 5, and it found its way to the circular file, and probably Harrison Ford took his lighter and took it out to the fire pit and burned it, I think a lot of stuff happened after Solo crashed and burned. I think a lot of people were kind of, maybe not saying it in public at their cocktail parties and things like that, but to each other behind the scenes, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with her leadership. What's going on there? Look what she's done to Star Wars. And then with all the stuff that went on with The Rise of Skywalker, because that was a hellacious mess, okay? You get the mock-up movie, and you show it, and George Lucas, and I was told this, I don't give a flying F who you are. If you're one of those people from that channel or another channel in Las Vegas right now, I don't give a crap. And the proof, and I've said this again, I will beat it into people's heads. Where was he at the Trials premiere? Nowhere. 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 Okay. Nowhere. And the reason is this. Kennedy saw the mock-up and lost her shit. Where was Raylo? Where was the woke folk? And all the rest of this garbage. They introduced a whole new villain, and I was told by somebody who does art stuff for the studios in London that they had built the son of Mortis's throne, and Matt Smith was playing that role, not the role of what in one of in the story that was out there on Reddit, that this role called the Acolyte. No, it was the son of Mortis. And here's a little bit of proof beyond just they had the throne built, and then when Kennedy ordered reshoots, they had to tear it down. They had to get rid of it. Do you know how much money that costs? Do you know how much money Disney wasted on that? And Iger, but I think Iger basically let her walk into it. I think he did. Very interesting how that all happened. But where was I going with this? Oh God, I forgot my point. Shit. Kennedy, she orders these reshoots. So they said they were 40% reshoots. I think they were reshooting from that summer on. And I think it wasn't 40%. I think it was a lot more. Okay? Because there's a trailer that came out before the movie came out where you hear, it sounds like Palpatine. My boy. Ian McDiarmid. But when you look at the sound, there's another voice underneath it. And the voice changes to Snoke and to Vader. The only character in Star Wars that is a Force wielder who can change appearance and who's a shapeshifter is the son of Mortis. And when you hear that, you can hear a younger man speaking throughout the whole thing. And in my humble opinion, that younger man was Matt Smith, okay? But she didn't want him. And she wanted, the fans won't understand who that is. Well, the fans would understand who that was. And the normies who didn't know who it was would be told by the fans who that was. Okay, they reshoot the movie, probably more than 50%. So you get a $225 million budget, maybe $300 million budget. Add 50% reshoots, marketing budget. And the movie barely crawls across $1 billion. That movie didn't make any money. They know it. Then Spielberg walks away. Why? Because they took down everything George Lucas made. They just, no, we can't use that. No, we're not going to use that. No, people won't understand. And he was pissed. He didn't show up. I think Kennedy's permanently on the outs with him, in my opinion. So we got that. And then after that, she hires Leslie Forehead and pisses off the Bobs even more. And we got the story that Doomcock told about a money guy, we'll say from Vanguard or BlackRock, shows up, says, I've heard there's a J.J. Lucas cut. Yeah, there is. Well, I'd like to see it. They show him the mock-up. Not edited or anything. He walks out silent. Friday, July 3rd, 2020, Kennedy shows up at a meeting with the financial guys at all of her projects. Okay. Then they start going after Gina. I'm going to tell you this. Gina was never the target. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were. Okay. And let's go back to a year ago. All of the changes that were coming started then. The restructuring maybe started before then. Okay. Dave Filoni was given his, job as head of creative. They didn't bring in Mohsen Gupta, his partner, who does the production side and the accounting and the money. They didn't bring her in until this last, was it January? But it's starting to fill out. Okay. I think Kennedy's seen the writing on the wall. I think the only thing she's really got to do is Indy 5. And they're not, this is, I'm going to tell you this. Indy 5 is going to be filming into October. Okay. They've got plans to go to Sicily to film some stuff. Right now, the filming is on a break, I think. It still is. Ford and Callista were in Croatia and then Dubrovnik. Maybe they're still, I mean, I don't know, Dubrovnik. Somebody give me some geography there because the area of the world is so historically complicated. I can never remember the capitals of all those little tiny countries. So, and was it Holbrook? That kid Holbrook was in Kentucky. Now maybe they're coming back now. I don't know, but they've been on a break, and it's just a normal thing. Notice how the usual naysayers haven't said anything. It's just a normal break. So what else is going on? I think Chapek, it's going to get ugly, but Chapek has got the shareholders. They're starting to see a return. Feige's days are numbered. And the moment he's gone is the moment Disney is firmly in the hands of a guy who wants to make money. All right. And that's the most important thing. Because we suddenly become the most important people to them in the world. So let's talk about Ginas. So the book her movie is based on is a book called White Knuckle. And it's about a woman who has a run-in with a serial killer who's a trucker. And she enlists the help of another trucker to find this guy to get revenge. It's written by Eric Red, who wrote The Hitcher. And it's being produced by Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. Everybody's really excited about it. I don't think they understand. Yeah, they can too. I don't think, I look forward to the day that Molly and Alex have to shut down Star Wars Explained and go away. Maybe they could all start their own woke folk studio where they can make their own goddamn movies and no one would care. The reason why I'm cautious about doing anything with, oh yeah, they have to learn that. Let me get back to what I'm talking about, Gina. I'm cautious about Ben Shapiro, not for the same reasons Cameron is. Ben Shapiro is a devout, very devout. I think he's a very conservative Jew. Hey, Mexican Iron Man. Okay. All right. You can do that. And so he has feelings about Israel. This is me standing between them going, fucking quit it. Stop it. Two brats fighting over a toy, as far as I'm concerned. Because Jesus might have died and rose from the dead in Jerusalem, and we have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre there, but he ascended into heaven in Galilee. So, what? Okay. Here's the thing. Ben Shapiro can do a lot of things, and he can give people an alternative entertainment source. I worry about Gina being able to work outside of that. Actors are independent contractors. And it's very interesting to me watching all this happen and watching all this go on, how this tends to get people all excited. And I'm like, look, I want her to be able to go and make movies with Jon Favreau and other directors like, you know, you name them, okay? Sam Raimi and James Mangold and stuff, and aligning with someone who wrote stuff about Hollywood for Andrew Breitbart. It might not have been the best idea. Maybe this movie will be a success, but here it is. Production value, what is that gonna look like? What is the budget gonna look like? Etc. etc. I'm sure you can make a pretty good revenge flick for White Knuckle for about maybe $20 million, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, we gotta figure it out. But again, what does this do to her viability outside of that genre? And is she putting herself in the conservative ghetto next to Scott Baio, Kevin Sorbo, James Woods, John Boyd, kinda, but he's such a mainstay that they really can't do anything about him. But you know what I'm saying. Dean Cain and others, Kirstie Alley, because Gina deserves more. So I really wish she would have thought it out more. And I'm going to say this, and I hope Mike is still listening. I said this before. If Jon Favreau asked her to come back and she blithely said no, that would be it. I would, he created that character for her. I wouldn't know who she is, okay? I wouldn't know who she is without him, all right? I'm a Star Wars fan. That goes, okay, Mike, that goes ahead of everything. So despite all the anger and outrage I had about what they did to her and the fact that Disney let it happen, I'm not about to give up my fandom and happiness at what Jon Favreau has been able to do over one character who's basically a side character. Okay, he could easily recast her or say she died, okay, or which would put the end to it, or say she's a marshal and that we'll never see her again. I think she's coming back. I'll let you guys go after this. When I was talking to the guy that was selling the Hasbro Black Series at the gun show, he said it's everywhere that she's coming back. I go, well, there are a lot of people who say she's not, that she's very happy doing what she's doing. And I'm like, so I don't know. And he's like, and, I think they're looking at the toys coming back. The Lego is now bringing her back into the Lego thing. I really think that Hasbro should probably just bring her back. I don't know why they're not. I would like to actually have that Black Series. I've got the Credit Series, and I like it, but I'd rather have the Black Series because that's a kick-ass sculpt for that, and it looks good. But we'll have to see. But again, I'm not putting her ahead of my fandom of Star Wars. Okay, I'm here to see that get fixed. Okay, not for somebody who got wronged, who's invited back after all the people that did the wrongs are gone, and says no, ungratefully says no. Okay, so he's still in Croatia. Yeah, we do. We need to support Favreau and Filoni, no matter what, because I'm watching when I go down and do my. I'm almost up to an hour on the elliptical already. When I go down there and do my workout, I watch The Mandalorian. And I can't believe what I forgot that's in it. And I can't believe how effing good it is. I'm not kidding. So, anyway. I gotta get going. Hopefully my husband and I'm trying to talk him into going to Yankee Candle because they have their new fall stuff out and I want some candles. I gotta go down and throw some old ones away that aren't viable anymore. But they got a couple of new scents out that they're pretty good. And one, again, that smells like soap. Ugh. Anyway, so you guys have a good day. If anything happens that's pertinent, I'll come back and I'll go live again or whatever. And I will be in Doomcock's chat tonight, hanging out. So see you guys around the galaxy. And I'll probably be on live for at least a little while tomorrow.